Hi, Infold. My name's Lunar. I've been a Love and Deep Space player since January of 2024. I pre-reg 2 weeks before the game came out, thanks to the highly praise that I got from other Otome players who said that it was going to be an Otome gacha that was going to define the genre. And I believed them. So I went ahead and pre-regged. I essentially played for a while in 2024. Had to stop due to financial reasons at one point. Came back during the first anniversary, during 5.0's update, and it was incredible. I fully loved all the nightly rendezvous cards. I main Raphael, his was incredible. I started to main Silas. His character became someone that I can truly relate to romantically, so I wanted to main them both. That's when you also brought out Caleb, though. And I know Caleb is a character that does have some huge controversies to him besides Silas in the game of Love and Deep Space. The fandom as a whole has accepted those two now as they are, especially as of recent times. With cards that have been coming out for them lately, I would say there's more people who main them than ever. You gave us the promise that we would be able to get a new love interest by 6.0's update. Valko came. The stream happened. It was, to put it in simple terms, okay. To put it in not the best terms, kinda sloppy. But everything that was coming out for Valko was perfect. I essentially was excited for him. And as someone who, when Caleb came out, was then suddenly convinced to main Caleb as well, to put money towards him as well, I was excited to do the same for Valko. I know. Crazy enough, I was going to main 4 men. How? No idea. That's usually how this game goes for some people. Sometimes you get your favorite love interest, and then there you go. Now that's who you main. That's not to say I don't love all the love interests, but exclusively for Zane and Xavier, they're not exactly my types, which is fine. They're not my cup of tea, but they're other people's cup of tea. And I think that's great that they can be able to main those love interests even when I cannot. Anyone who is a harem girly, though, you have all my heart. A lot goes into it. A lot goes into that game. Especially for a game that has surrounded for women falling in love with the man of their dreams. Um, I think it is a mistake right now that you have decided to not go forward with Valko coming out in 6.0. There are so many other things that you could do for this update that I think 6.0 would have definitely benefited from. But because you had decided not to do that in the end, and just mainly focus on main story and a new love interest, I was going to say, my frustration aside, I was excited for the new love interest, and I was excited for the new main story update for him. I understand that Caleb and Silas's main story updates are going to take a lot longer than probably what was initially planned. For me, as someone who mains them, I was going to be okay to wait because Valko was coming out. It was something of a new point for the genre of the game to continue forward. Because you had decided to not do that and have now retracted from what you have promised to your players is a mistake. You guys are essentially doing probably one of the worst things you could do by listening to the loud minority, not majority, the minority of this fandom for getting rid of him. I don't know if you guys ever plan to let him out in the end, but I will say this. It is a mistake to not move forward with your plans and to let him out by the time July 9th rolls around next month. You have Anime Expo going on. You have Billy World going on. You have so much promotional for him that you are suddenly throwing away because of a loud minority. I understand it's more than that. I understand there's a lot more going behind the scenes than it's that. And morale is low because of that. And I'm truly sorry about that. The devs and writers to this game do not deserve any of that hate. I understand upper management has better ideas sometimes for this game, even though as a player base, we would probably disagree with some of those ideas. But I understand the devs and the writers to this game, again, are essential. This game wouldn't be without them. You would not have this player base, this money for a gacha otome game at all without them. Okay? I'm putting up this video because I implore you and I'm begging you to please reconsider your decisions on this. This was probably, on a PR standpoint, the worst decision you can make. I do not think what you guys are doing is going to make an amount of difference that is already the hate that is being spewed. This game deserves better. This game definitely deserves a better fan base, but it definitely deserves better from a company who, on a standpoint, should have just continued with letting Valko go as he pleases into the new main story updates. This is essential for a game to keep thriving and to keep our attention as well. Every banner you bring out is essential for growing our desires and love for these characters. But the main story really hits home for a lot of people who are not only here for the romantic aspect, but also for the lore. The lore is incredibly in depth. And again, I have more praise than I could give already for the people who are in part of that lore, of creating such immaculate story building for an entire fictional world that has all my heart. I implore you guys to please reconsider on not bringing Valko out. Please keep his VAs in. Please keep his content in. Please continue to bring him out in the end. I know it looks bleak, and I know the Chinese fandom side, again, loud minority, not the majority, are very, very vicious and ravish against you guys right now. But they are not your main player base. You also have a global player base who are heavily invested and want to be for Valko. This is a mistake to decide on making sure that either he comes out or he doesn't in the end. I understand that this is also something that another Otome game you guys had, you made another love interest, just a special intake one because of the backlash that he got to apparently in the end. Do not make Valko that. Valko deserves to have all our love, all our attention, because there are people who want to main him, who want to put money towards him. They have an emotional attachment that they want for him already. And you taking that, because sadly, either political or government views over in China are against it even to a point of a T of it, is making you nervous, is making your investors nervous, probably your CEO nervous. That is understandable. But the way you guys have been acting for like your advertisements as of late, especially with some of the cards that you guys have been bringing out as of late, you are killing it for the most part. This in the end could kill your whole community if you do not commit to bringing Valko out in the end. I am begging and imploring you to please bring this out. And I know people will see this video and be like, oh, you're begging from a gacha game. It's not just that. Yes, on surface level, it looks like that. But it's not just that. Valko deserves to be out. This game deserves to have the honest working player base that people invest for it. I am asking you, Infold, the creators that you have into your company, to please reconsider and bring Valko out in the end. Again, I know it looks bleak right now. I understand that laws are different from China than they are here globally. But he is essential to make sure that this game thrives and stays connected for players. A majority of it. Not a minority, a majority of it. I know people will probably give me hate for putting out this kind of video. I know I'm not going to be the only one. I'm going to be one of a million of voices coming out to you right now. Hell, I'm not even on your VIP list. I have put money to this game, though. I have put emotional investment into this game, though. I have found great communities because of this game. More so than, say, questionable ones. But every fandom is always going to have a loud, questionable minority who hates your series and games. It just happens. Everybody has it. Genshin, Nikki, all of it. Basically, I'm just going to say it. Do the right thing and bring them out in the end. I know it looks bad. I don't know what your PR team is doing. And I don't know what management you had that said that this would be essentially just enough for an update. But if it is all that we are getting right now, it's at least something better than nothing. Please, I implore you to please bring them out. This is ridiculous on how far this has actually gone to. And essentially, anyone you have hired now is probably going to be scared working for this company. That shouldn't be the case at all. You should be there for your employees, but you should also be there for your player base who actually are trying to implore you and listen to you, but let you know that Valko needs to come out. I know at this point it sounds like I'm rambling, and I kind of am. I didn't plan a script for this. I tried, but it's not really my thing. But if any of you are watching this, can please inform Infold that this is way out of hand, and that the passion and creation that we have for this game is so important to so many people around the world than just in their China servers, would be great. Even unsuspecting Chinese players have no idea why this is going on, and they deserve better as well. I don't know what else more that I can say. Actually, there's a lot more that I can say, but essentially, please reconsider all of this. Please, 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 I'm imploring you, please, to reconsider all of this. I even dress up for this game. So many people do so much for this game, for this series as a whole. It's imperative that you listen to the voices who are trying to come at you, player base to company, to please let Valko essentially come home to us. This is ridiculous that he's not. And I'm not saying he needs to be a special love interest that just only comes once in a while. Absolutely not. He is imperative to the story, to the plot now. You've made that clear, and I'm excited for that. But you need to keep up on your word for it then. If you cannot do that, we have problems then. And sadly, you can say this game is over then, because you are not listening to the majority of your player base. Please, 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 I'm begging you, do not do this. This is a horrible decision. Hell, if you need someone who knows at least decent PR, hit a girl up. Because obviously, you guys need all the help you can to make sure that this kind of situation doesn't happen ever again. And I won't say it won't. You're always going to get hate for this game, no matter how much it has put in a positive outlook for Otome players in general. But you need to understand that this decision is wrong, and you need to retract it. I know it's a double-edged sword, but the retraction from this is going to be a better outcome than not. That's it. That's all I got.